Regrooving tires. This tire's never been regrooved before, and it is old. Whew. Bam! You always want to make sure it says regroovable. I only regroove once, and then I throw away the tires under the trailer. This tire, it's been holding up fantastic, so we're going to regroove it because, as you can see, we got lots of flat spots. There should be tread there. And in so many areas, it's like less than 2/32 of an inch, so it's illegal. We're going to make it legal. This one's been holding up fantastic. This used to be like completely bald, but I regrooved it. Oh, I'd say about 3 months ago, and it's holding up fantastic. After I regroove them, not sure if I can find it or not, but basically once I regroove it, once I regroove the whole thing, I'll take the iron and then rub off these letters that say regroovable, indicating that next time I attempt to regroove it or whatever, I could be like, gotta make sure I regroove. Oh, and then if it's gone, I trash the tire. This thing, tire regroover, knife, gun, I don't know what you call it, deluxe, whatever. They got better ones. This was the cheapest one I found off of Amazon. I think it's like 80 or 90, maybe even 70, but it comes with 12 heated knives, and all these are steel that is sharpened. It's like sharpened on one side. But I'll be honest, I'm just going to rock with this one. This is the first one I put in it, and it just keeps working real good. So I'm not even going to mess with them other knives. I can go ahead and do it to it. But so what I'll do is plug this thing up here. It probably takes about 15 minutes to 20 minutes for it to get good and nice and hot, and then you can start regrooving. The theory with it, the way it's designed, the tip and everything, it's so effortless. It does the perfect angle, like when you put the knife down and it's like that, it just cuts at the perfect angle. So, and I've never had a tire explode on me. It's like, I would assume that if I started seeing threads or steel wires, oh yeah, I'd stop immediately and throw away the tire. But I know these tires never been regrooved before, so therefore that's never an issue. But if I do, see anything like that, I'd immediately stop and throw it away. And for the most part, I think with these tires, that indicates like how deep, the actual tread is. But I'm not 100% sure on that. These are brand new Michelins, and they don't have that little triangle. So these could, I don't know. Regardless, we're gonna regroove it and run it till it pops. And then, oh God, is that a nail? I don't know. I hope it's a little rock. I mean, if it's a nail, we're straight up gonna have to throw away this tire, because I'm not dealing with that crap again. Ah, good deal. Just a rock. Yeah, I've had to throw away, tires, brand new tires, because of nails and screws. It's ridiculous. They will not hold a plug no matter what. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and clean it. And okay, we gave it a good rinsing with a pressure washer. Just gonna get all these little rocks out, because it's really hard to groove tires with rocks in there. It's really bald right there. Right here, it's got really good, tread. This tire, I think what a lot of it happened to it was it took me a while to figure out I needed to replace my shocks. These are Gabriel's. You can't really see them, but having your tires rivering or have cups on the inner part where it kind of is wavy on the inner part, that's a good sign of bad shock absorbers. But this tire really not bad compared to this one, before I regrooved this one. And this one's starting to wear evenly, but yeah, we'll just let her dry off, turn on our fan, because when you're regrooving, it'll kick up a little bit of smoke, sometimes a lot, sometimes hardly any. The grease still hasn't burned off, but according to the, god damn, 900 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll do a control for the truck frame, 85. We'll do the banana cat, 86. We'll do water. Anyway, I got shit to do. I ain't waiting for this all day. And it's advisable to do this with gloves, but is what we're gonna do. Let's regroove this here. Try and get this grease off. Alright, roll it in. Basically just stick it in, then you apply pressure. There we have it. Now it's kind of getting caught up on this other side. I didn't mean to go that far, but is what I really need to do. I know exactly what's the problem with that. And normally I'll cut, these grooves first, these 4, I guess your main channels, and then I'll come back and cut these. Yeah, cutting this first just wasn't a good idea, because, this treads, or this particular channel's got to go a lot deeper, and then this will pop off a lot easier. Kind of like this. So I'll just say fuck it and dig in. And just put enough pressure. You really don't want to put too much pressure, but just run with it. It's like it naturally just goes where it wants to go. There's going to be high spots and low spots, and it will get through them. But yeah, we're just going to keep going with this. Let's see if I can get off of this. God, that's so annoying. There we go. Wonderful fresh channel we cut. Just jerk it off. It's so deep and clean looking, whereas it stops here, and this is the old tread. Just pretty bare. And there goes the new tread. So shiny, clean. But yeah, I'm gonna do the 4 channels and then do these horizontal ones. Okay, so we completed this first channel. We haven't touched these other channels yet, but that's where I made that first cut. Let's see what we got here. In the bald spots, you can feel it going deep. But then as you go along, about right here, it wasn't doing anything. It's like it didn't need to. It didn't need to cut down deep at all. It sort of just fuzzed it, if anything. It's cleaned out. I think this whole area, yeah, is just fuzzing it. So I got these pliers. Okay. Yeah. Figured that would have been a lot longer. Yeah, it's like if your tires don't need regrooving, it ain't gonna regroove where you don't need it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I can see these bald spots right here. There we go. Look at that. And look how clean that line's coming out. Man. Damn snake. That's where we started. Okay, so this channel should be nice and clean, and probably about 9/32 of an inch, because that's what I got this blade set to, the depth. So we'll go ahead and cut out these other channels. I'll just start right here. And really, I just follow where the gun wants to go, you know. Trying to stay in the grooves as much as I can, but it kind of just does its own thing. So, pause it and do it. That channel's cut out. And when you're cutting with it, you more or less, you do apply some pressure and kind of glide with it. And when it starts getting hard to push, you just kind of sit for a minute and let it heat up, and then try it again. And it's like you want a smooth, consistent cut. It's really hard to explain. You just put pressure on the gun, put pressure on it, and then, you know, kind of really dig into it. Maybe use 2 hands, run it, and if it starts getting real hard, just let it back off a little, let it heat up, and then go for it again. And your angle is important too. You don't want an angle like that. You really want an angle like this. That's to where, let me show you, right there. That's the perfect angle, because as you can see, the knife is basically the only thing in the rubber. That little black thing will be the only thing in the rubber. So that's like the perfect angle. We'll go ahead and cut this one, and cut this one, and start on our zigzag. Okay, I just completed this channel. So we got all 4 channels completely cut out, and it really wasn't much. The other side took a lot more, but now it's my favorite part. I get to go across. I'm gonna go over this, even though I did it. Just, yeah. If it can't go any deeper than that, that's good. That's perfect. So this, pretty hard with the camera, but alright. Let's wait for that one, because that one's gonna be kind of hard to see. Okay, that one you can kind of see the line. But we just stick it in, start going, and then about right there, you churn with the knife and come out, and then it should pop. Once it pops, then it should just slip right out. No. Then you got, I think that line's going to screw me up because you really want to start in one area and go all the way around till you hit the other area, and then you know when to stop. So we'll hit one of these zigzags right here. Now this, I really just go in a little bit, cut hard, 45 degrees, go about like that, cut hard, 45 degrees, and then come across. Let's see what we got. I love how clean that rubber looks. It looks shiny, like it's... That wasn't the best zigzag, but yeah, we're just gonna keep going with it like that. Do the entire thing, and then maybe it'll look like that, to where you could actually see all the lines. All right, got this entire section done. I like it when they cut real nice and clean like that, and it looks like just brand new rubber. I don't know why. Really just the condition of the tire plays a huge role in it. It's like you can see how this was massive bald spot, so that would have been a bald spot, but it carved out the tread real good on that bald spot. And I'm pretty certain just about all of these gonna be hitting 9/32 of an inch, and you know the minimum requirement for DOT on a federal level, I believe, is 2/32 of an inch. If it's less than 2/32 of an inch, bam, you get put out of service. But this being roughly 9/32 of an inch, this tire's gonna last a long time, pretty much like this one. So, and these things, I think they call them sieves or sieves. You can get like special attachments for the heat gun or the regrooving tool that you can burn those in. You just push them down, or heck, I could even take one of the blades and take some pliers and just bend it into S shape and then do that. Basically something like this, but I'm not gonna do it with this tire because this stuff's really only good if you're running on, you know, ice. In fact, I really don't need to be running these types of tires because they're, in all reality, winter tires. They're extra soft, and they, you know, got all these splits in there. They're kind of like a flap disc or something for extra traction, but really not the best for fuel economy. I mean, the best thing you could do for fuel economy is just have 4 straight lines and no tread going horizontally. Literally just 4 straight lines is the best fuel economy you're gonna get. Iron's been plugged in this entire time. Let's go ahead and get started with our zigzags that you can barely see. This thing should, see how it glows red in the dark? The element, and it's still pretty light outside, but this thing will glow red hot, you know, at night. It's kind of cool. Let's see if I can adjust the light and lower this. There we go. Kind of see it red hot. Okay. Let's go right a little bit. So, turn. This is so satisfying. Look at that. So cool. Look at that clean cut. That is ready for flooded waters and flooded interstates. Alright, but yeah, we'll just keep going. Knock out this line, then knock out this line, and then we're done. Like, my body movements or whatever. Hope that helped. Another thing that's been helping me like get some consistency with the angles is, so when I'm like cutting, alright, let me see if I can see where the knife's actually at, and you can see where the knife blades are from the top. So I kind of go, you know, about where you see the knives, let's just say kind of behind the screw is when, you know, you're going to be at the knife. So kind of like, okay, when I'm cutting, at this point it's all muscle memory, but right there is when I stop and then I turn and then I execute, stop, turn. It just comes with practice. That's really all it is. It ain't shit. I love hitting these bald spots because I just love the dramatic change it makes. Love it. That's so cool. Anyway, ways of getting there, ways of getting there. I did want to mention something about the tread. If your tire's super bald, you're not going to even have these ghost lines to even go by. That was the case of this one. With this one, this sucker was completely bald. I mean, it was as bald as this. You couldn't see anything. So what I had to do is take some spray paint a good tire. In fact, I think I used, no, it may have been this one. Yes, this one. I took spray painted black spray paint, and then immediately slapped a piece of paper on it, peeled it off, and bam, I had the traction marks. And then I took a razor knife and basically made a stencil, and then put it on the bald tire. And then took a magic marker and drew in between the stencil cut lines. And I used a magic marker to make my lines, and then I cut them with a knife. It was just crazy. Black magic marker will, you know, be real glossy when you draw on this, so it works. Finish the middle line. Now we're at this this last bit here, this outer edge. I should hold it like this, do a different camera angle. See how bald that is. That's about middle. And when I stop, I like to kind of, you know, kick it up. That way, if you kick it up at the last second, you get to where it's easy to peel right out. Let's try it this way. That was bald. Yep. Finish this row, and then that's it. All right, that is 100% completely retreaded. Or regrooved, I'm sorry, not retreaded. Retreaded, something totally different. But yeah, 100% regrooved. And damn, it's looking good. Looking very good. Nice and symmetrical and consistent. So now the final step. Now for the final step. I screwed up in the past this thing and took the knife to cut out the regroove, and you really don't want to do that. But I'm gonna try something different. Set the camera down. Let's see if we can just burn off these letters by dragging this across them. Alright, let's try to turn it upside down maybe. And then it ain't working with the shit. See, that's why I used the knife the first time, but this ain't worth the shit. What I'm gonna do is just say fuck it and get a grinder with a flap disc and very gently flap disc the shit off. Make sure there's not another one. There is the other side of the tire that will have regroovable. I need to figure out how to get that. But yeah, I just need to eliminate that lettering. That way I don't accidentally try to regroove it in the future and then it pops. But it's most likely not going to pop. If anything, if you cut into it too deep or whatever, which is very unlikely if you're only regrooving it once, it's worst case, yeah, it can explode, but that is extremely rare. There'd have to be so many things wrong with the belt of the tire that most likely is what would happen if you did somehow cut it too deep, is you'd probably see the threads or the steel wires, in which case you stop immediately and trash the tire and be done with it. But, you know, if you do happen to penetrate it, it's gonna probably like, and you just gently back away and, yeah, you fucked up. Gotta buy a new tire. I mean, do people think these things just explode all the time? Hey, it's possible. It's a possibility. It really does happen, but I don't know. There's a lot of fake news around it. It's pretty fucking rare for a tire to explode. I got this Scotch-Brite abrasion disc. It's basically a Scotch-Brite pad with bits of sandpaper in it. We'll see if how this will do it. I think it should do just fine, but oh, hell yeah. Doesn't get any better than this. This is working perfect. But I'm just basically just trying to knock off the lettering and, you know, not take any thickness down. And this is perfect. So yeah, we'll knock off the letter. There you go. And somebody thinks this is regroovable and they got issues, because it's clearly not. Then finally, a last step, very, very important step, is you're going to want to have it balanced. Either by, you know, take it up to a tire shop and have them spin it and put their, you know, little lead weights so don't stay on it and balance it. Because when you regroove, God, why do I keep it? When you regroove, you're changing the dynamics of the whole tire. It's, who knows how much, you know, pounds of weight you're taking off one side but not the other side. So if you try to hit the road with this thing right after you regrooved it without getting it balanced, you're gonna have a fun time. This tire's probably gonna be like, you know, down the interstate. So, and they're common about this. I do this not just for me, but in case, you know, say I sold the truck, yeah, I would hate to sabotage the next guy and he'd be like, oh, I could regroove these tires, and then, you know. So that's another good reason to remove the lettering anytime you regroove. But back to balancing. Got this Centromatic, painted it red so it'll look real cool. Basically need to get my valve stem at the very bottom so that it can fit through this gap here. Now we just put this bad boy on. And we want to put it on with the smallest, you got big holes and small holes. I want the holes to be as small as possible. Alright, let's just kind of guess with it. No, that ain't gonna work. I know that ain't gonna work. There we go. How about that? Just making sure the valve stem's accessible, because when you put the other wheel on, you know, you're gonna have to have this hole where you can access this poor little valve stem. But yeah, we slap that on, slap the other wheel on, and bam, this is gonna balance both of the wheels, so it's gonna work out fantastic. It really is. Yeah, that pretty much concludes it. Got the iron unplugged and put it back in the box, and look at the, just, you saw what the tire looked like before. Now I could get my measuring tire gauge measurement device, but I'm pretty confident. I did the other one the day before yesterday, and it's all, these freaking bugs are gonna be the death of me. It is hitting 9/32 everywhere. The 4 grooves, the horizontal grooves, is 9/32 everywhere. So we should be good for, I bet this tire will last, you know, a good 2 years before it's bald and have to throw it away. But that's assuming I don't get a nail in it or it randomly pop. You know, there's a lot of variables into it. And of course, the best thing is like gun. Let's say, I don't know, 100 or less for the gun. Even I think it's like 70 or 80. But anyways, just say $100 for the gun, shipping the hand, all that. But I get free shipping the hand for that. So, you know, the gun, my time, it did take, yeah, it took me about 4 hours, but a lot of the time was, you know, setting this camera up or whatever and just doing a lot of thinking and stuff. But in reality, I probably could have done it in like 2 hours if I just, you know, stuck to it. But yeah, it's this here right here that saved me like $700, because if this tire, if I trashed it, I would go with another Michelin, and this bad boy is $700, and that's what I'm transitioning to. This is a Michelin, that's a Cooper, this is a Cooper, that's a Cooper. Then these two are both Michelins, and those two are both Coopers. So, you know, slowly working the Michelins into the mix, and yeah, them bad boys are like $700 a pop. And then these steers, these Michelin steers, like $800, $900. So, you know, saving $600, $700 for a $100 gun. Yeah, I'll take that any day. No, this tire's the one I didn't tread or regroove. Is in much better condition, and yeah, it does look really good. But this one actually looks a lot deeper cuts than this one. I'll eventually regroove this one, but it's got a long way to go. And you could tell, you know, how much more material it's got on it from these sieves. These sieves, whatever the hell you call them, for, you know, traction on ice. Or is this? Ain't got any of them. But yeah. And there's a triangle of tread depth. So this is the triangle of tread depth for that one. They look. Oh, that's probably 4 millimeters. Maybe 2. It's really hard to tell, but there's not that, you know, not that dramatic of a difference. And This one will be, you know, carrying the majority of weight, and this one will most likely be just free spinning, but that's good for fuel economy. But once I get a heavy load, they're both going to be hitting that, you know, pavement real hard. So